Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday. It is the 16th day of March 2023. I hope you're safe and healthy today and that your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who are every day saving lives, and those who pick up garbage for us to keep streets, sidewalks, parks, wrecks, buildings, stairwells clean and disease free. And those also that make deliveries of important things like food and water, as well as mail for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the victims of the teenagers and the children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of human trafficking and sex slavery. The victims of prostitution, child prostitution. The victims also of pornography and child pornography. Double curses on the perpetrators, double curses on the profiteers, and double curses on the perverts that create these heinous industries. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, increasingly more children, that are living on the streets, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Today, I want to talk about what seems to be some drama, but it's not really drama, involving Mitchell Robinson in his Instagram post about running up and down the floor and tired of just getting cardio, implying that he's not getting the ball enough. Couple things. Mitchell Robinson's done this before. Okay, I think he did it last year. And so he's not out there to score. He's out there to play defense, to get offensive rebounds, and to finish. When he does those things, the Knicks are pretty tough to beat. Okay? Knicks are pretty tough to beat. So that's his role. He's asking to apparently to get the ball more. But actually, I think this is a good thing. And I'll tell you why. You have to have a little bit of understanding of Tom Thibodeau to understand what this means. What would Tom Thibodeau say to him, if he's whining about getting the basketball? Number one, can you hit a foul shot yet? Because that's been an issue. You want the basketball. Can you hit a foul shot at more than 50%? That's number one. Number two, really? When did you fight to get open so we can get your basketball? Can you hit a 10-footer? How about an 8-footer? Oh, you made a nice move 4 or 5 games ago. So what does this mean? Well, maybe Mitchell Robinson will be prompted this summer to spend a lot more time working on offensive moves. Baby hooks, short jump shots, foul shooting. Hey, look, he doesn't have to be, let's say, Quentin Grimes or Emmanuel Quickly at the foul line, but shoot, can we get 60%? Can we get 6 out of 10, Mitch? Then you could talk about not getting the basketball. I think that's what Tom Thibodeau would tell him. For now, though, we're in the midst of a playoff race. We need you to focus. We need you to focus on defense. We need you to focus on rebounding. We need you to hit some foul shots, because you're going to get fouled at the end of playoff games because they think that you can't hit any. That's what we need you for right now. And that's what will happen. Okay? So, and I believe that Mitchell Robinson happens to have the talent to do these things. He has the talent to hit a baby hook. He has the talent to hit an 8 to 10 foot jump shot. He has the talent, obviously, to go to the basket. He can dribble a little bit. And I believe he has the talent if he just puts some arc on his shot. He just seems like he refuses to put any arc on his foul shot. If he puts a little arc on his foul shot, probably put some more in. And I'm sure, if I can see it as an amateur from the sideline, I am sure the Knicks coaching staff sees it as well. So speaking of that, Speaking of Mitchell Robinson, speaking of the 5 spot, I have been looking at the Washington Wizards lately. Now, the Washington Wizards are 4-6 in their last 10 games. They're in the 10th seed right now, but they're only a half game up on the Chicago Bulls and a full game up on Indiana Pacers. They've been fading. They have been fading. Not because of Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis has been going off recently. But why am I bringing this up? I'm not suggesting we trade Mitchell Robinson, so don't get it twisted at all. But I am suggesting that Kristaps Porzingis could be available this summer because he has an opt-out in the final year of his contract. Players with an opt-out in the final year of their contract, especially a guy like Kristaps Porzingis that's now hitting his prime, they opt out because they can get more money over more years. In other words, let's say he got $28 million a year for the next 3 years. Well, that's $81 million, $84 million he would get in exchange for the $34 million he was getting ready to get. And that would be guaranteed money. Okay? And why am I talking about Kristaps Porzingis? Well, because Kristaps Porzingis, he gives you about 60 to 65 games a year. I'll say 65. If he can give us 65 games, which I believe he can, at the 5 spot, and you take Mitchrob and you move him to Mob Deep, I think that makes us championship contenders. I think our championship window would have just opened. Because not only does Kristaps Porzingis score, which he's scoring 23 points a game, he rebounds 8.5 a game, he has a high basketball IQ, and he can shoot the 3. Not that, I'm not knocking Mitchell Robinson. It's not his game. But I'm just saying he adds a dimension to the Knicks on an all-star level that the Knicks haven't had. So my suggestion might be, keep an eye. I told y'all this before. Keep an eye on Kristaps Porzingis because he can be an unrestricted free agent. See, right now the Washington Wizards, they have a lot of money tied up in Bradley Beal. They're going to be playing. Bradley Beal is 29. They're going to be paying him $43 million this year, plus more next year. They're paying Kristaps Porzingis $34 million approximately. They're paying Kyle Kuzma $13, and he wants more. Now the problem is that they're in the 10th seed. They got these 3 guys, and they're in the 10th seed. Okay, they need also a point guard. They got a lot of young guys. Then you have Diva, Johnny Davis, Corey Kispert, Daniel Gafford. All of these are young players that they can start to build around. If I'm them, if I'm Washington, I'm trading the top 3 guys. I'm just letting them go, and I'm starting to rebuild. I'm getting what I can for Bradley Beal. I'm getting what I can for Kristaps Porzingis if he opts out. I'm see if I can get a sign and trade. And I'm getting what I can for Kyle Kuzma. I think he's also unrestricted at the end of this year. So let them all go. And start over with the guys underneath them. Start over with Denny Avdiva. Start over with Johnny Davis. Start over with Corey Kispert, Daniel Gafford. I'm trying to make a draft night move with Bradley Beal involved, if I can, and move up in the draft and get a higher pick. That's what I would do if I was Washington, which means KP would be on his way out, which means he's available. Now, again, we talked about this before. Yes, I love Isaiah Hartenstein, and I love Jericho Sims, but I would keep Jericho because he's my 3rd string dude, and I would trade Isaiah or move him for the $8 million expiring. Easy thing, and bring Mitchrob into the 2nd unit. So now you have a 2nd unit of Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, and Josh Hart. That's a starting 5 on some teams. Okay? And then you're going to have Kristaps Porzingis, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, and Jalen Brunson. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, if they trade Obi, we're still in good shape. Because KP can play the 4 or the 5. Still in good shape. Okay, you can start KP if you need to, next to Mitchell Robinson. Okay, if they trade Obi. Or, we're in good shape still. If Emmanuel quickly decides to go, because he can be a starter in another team, this is time for him to get this extension. The Knicks should be just giving him that loop. But if he decides, I want to take this $100+ million in Miami and start, we still got Deuce McBride right behind him. So we deep there. I would like this move. There's a couple of moves we talked about, not really blockbusters. The Knicks, see, I noticed a lot of the media was looking for blockbuster superstar trades. I'm not buying into that. And the reason I'm not is because the Knicks have drafted very, very well. Okay, very, very well. And so the young pieces that we have and the core pieces that the Knicks have right now, we really are not in need of a superstar. Okay, we're just not in need of it. I mean, Brunson, Randall, RJ. I mean, we could trade. I talked about trading RJ for a Jeremy Grant or a Mikal Bridges, but I don't think Bridges is going to be available. He's playing so well, and the Nets are playing much better to me as a team than they played when they had Kyrie and KD. They might want to just build around that, and Mikal is a perfect type dude to play that Robin role, and they would be very much benefited by a high level all-star player, but they're in a good position, so they may not want to trade Mikal Bridges because that means they'd be trying to rebuild, start over. They may not have to do that, so he may not be available, and he's under contract, so it's not like he can go anywhere. Whereas Jeremy Grant's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Portland is struggling. They got a lot of young players. They're in a really good position to rebuild. Just that they got Dame Dollar right now. Dame Dollar's not interested in leaving. So I don't know what Portland's going to do. They're really in the quagmire. So I don't know if Jeremy Grant's going to stay or leave or whatever, but he's going to be available. So, and he's going to be available without a trade. So I don't know what exactly that's going to happen. But for the Knicks, it opens up a possibility of a Jeremy Grant coming. Okay. That's pretty big. And then, of course, you have, again, I mentioned Kristaps Porzingis. So it's not superstars, but these are guys that added to the current roster of young players. Now, we have, right now, the vets, we have Brunson's 26 in his prime. Randall's 28 in his prime. Fournier, Mitchell Robinson's 24. He'll be 25, I think, in May. And then you have Josh Hart is 28, just turned 28. So these guys are in their primes. Then you got RJ's 22. Obi's 25. Quick is 23. Grimes is 22. Jericho 24. Deuce is 22. You got some really nice young talent here combined with a nice mix of vets. You don't really need a superstar, but you need a dude that's all-star level, which KP is, or somebody like a Jeremy Grant. Not really all-star, but he will get you to that next level. On a team like this, Jeremy Grant is that dude. Okay, he really is. He could play the 3, he could play the 4, he can guard all 5 positions. And if you put a Mitchell Robinson or KP next to him with a Julius Randle, it'd be good. Very good. So, for a wrap, Mitchell Robinson's whining doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, 0. But it's an opportunity for him to prove himself this summer. Prove that you should get the ball. Prove that you can convert foul shots. Prove that you can do something aside from just dunk. Prove it. It's put up or shut up time, Mitchrob. And that's what Tom Thibodeau's going to tell him. And watch KP. Watch KP. A return to New York would be really amazing for KP. He's played 59 games this year out of the 70 games, 69 games they played. So he missed like 10 games. And I wouldn't expect more. I'm thinking, like I said, he with 10, 12 games left, he's probably going to finish with 65 games that he played. Just if you can get that benchmark with him and then get him for the playoffs, you're in good shape, and I think we can. He has learned to play within himself. It's different than when he was here the last time. Some of y'all can't remember, can't fixate on last time. He's a different guy. He's more mature. He's grown man now. Learned his way around, been around the league a little bit, and now he plays within himself. He doesn't get himself in position to get hurt all the time. So I think it would affect. I'm very confident if we got a KP, we really would vault into the top of the East at that point. And then, of course, if not, if we got, now don't say both. Some of y'all going to get greedy. So let's get both of them. No. Get one of them. You don't want to kill yourself here. You got a nice young core. Okay? If you can get KP without getting rid of Mitchell Robinson, boom. And if you could get Jeremy Grant, and really, you can get Jeremy Grant as an unrestricted free agent. The unfortunate thing is then RJ would move to the 2. I say unfortunate because Quentin Grimes would join Mar Deep. I say unfortunate because they really would be good, wouldn't they? But you would kind of lose your defensive stopper at the 2. RJ is not the defender that Grimes is. But we'd have to see what happens. But that'd be a good problem to have. So I guess what I'm saying is it is possible to acquire either Kristaps Porzingis or Jeremy Grant without giving up young players. Okay? That's possible. Now, they'd have to move some money. And you got Evan Fournier's contract. Derrick Rose's contract is coming off the books right now. And you still have Isaiah Hartenstein. So you're talking about Isaiah Hartenstein's $8 million. You're talking about Derrick Rose coming off the books at 14. That's $22 million. And then you got Fournier at 18 million. That's going to be 40 million. Somebody might ask, what about the extension on IQ? That would not kick in until the following summer. Until the following summer. They could sign him now, but he's still under contract for next year. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. So you got 40 million to deal with. And that would be able to get one of these high level guys. You know, you're talking about a KP or a Jeremy Grant. Okay. So I'm very confident that the Knicks would be in position. This is nothing for the Don to get into position to get one of these dudes. Question is twofold. Do the Knicks want them? And do they want the Knicks? Now, at this point, the way the Knicks are playing, being the 5th seed in the East, I think they're in a pretty strong position to attract either of these guys. I mean, listen, you're KP. You're in Washington. You like it there. Okay? But you messed up when you left the Knicks. You know you did. KP knows he did, you know. And your team is now the 10th seed, and you're fighting for that 10th spot versus the team you left is alone in the 5th seed in the East. You could be the guy that puts them up to the top 3. Same with Jeremy Grant. Portland is out of the play-in right now. They're not even in the play-in in the West. Okay? They're paying Dame Dollar gazillion dollars. It's time to rebuild, to be honest with you. But what you going to do for Jeremy Grant? I don't think he stays in Portland. I think he likes Portland. It's a cool city, probably. I've never been there, but he might be, Dame Dollar likes it. He could get access, up and down the West Coast if he wanted to go to LA or whatever, or Oakland or wherever. He could do that. And he could stay in the bottom of the West. But I don't think so. He was just there with Detroit. So maybe he comes to a contender. What contender can afford him and make an improvement in their team that's already good right now? I can think of a couple. Memphis. Okay, Memphis Grizzlies. New Orleans Pelicans. Miami Heat. I don't know. Pat Riley can just make it happen. I don't know how he does it. He's a magician. But I always don't count out the Miami Heat. There's Miami Heat. And then, of course, there's the New York Knicks. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting summer. Very interesting. And if the Knicks actually beat whoever their first round opponent is, which is a very strong possibility, you're going to get a couple of people like a KP or a Jeremy Grant trying to sniff around the Knicks, and the Knicks are going to be sniffing around them. We're going to see what happens. So it's very possible the Knicks can acquire one of these guys without giving up capital, any capital. Isn't that amazing? And, vault to that next level. So that's what we're talking about now. So with Mitchell Robinson, I ain't worried about him whining about not getting the ball. Just play defense and rebound, please. That's all we need you to do right now. And that's what I'm saying. I'm sure the coaches are going to tell him. Get off Instagram, rebound, Play defense. How many boards did you get last game? Let's take a look at that. How many boards did you get last 2 games? What you been doing, Mitchrob? You whining about getting the ball. Let's take a look. We beat Portland, and you must have had a monster game. We beat Portland, right? You must have had a monster game. We just beat Portland. Let's see what happened. What did you do in that game to help us when we beat Portland the other night? Where were you at? Let's see. Let's look at Mitchrob's stats. Let's see. Mitchrob, 21 minutes. He took 2 field goals. He had 4 rebounds. He was -4. 4 rebounds. But you out there to rebound. Wait a minute. And y'all know I'm Mitch High. Mitch is my dude. Mitch and Deuce are my guys. You know. So it ain't like I'm trying to break, but I ain't worried about him whining about not getting the ball. Let's take a look at the game before that. They beat the Lakers. Mitchell Robinson, 24 minutes. He had 5 rebounds, 4 on offensive end. Okay. But he was -15. I say, get your head out your behind, and let's get back to playing some basketball. Never mind getting the ball. Set some good picks, dunk the basketball, block shots, run the floor, and let's see some more rebounding. What, you sick or something? Anyway, I think it's all good. Next game is going to be against Denver. Tough game. We need Mitch Robinson to guard Jokic. Never mind getting the ball. Guard this brother. All right? Anyway, y'all enjoy your Thursday. We'll talk to you soon. Shalom.